Warning. Every one of you listening to my voice, tell the world. Tell this to everybody wherever they are. Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the skies.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, there's called a double mute, and I totally missed that. Thank you. So
that's why I'm here. Got one job.
I had one job too, and I failed miserably. So welcome everybody to our Wednesday night show right before Dave Scott. He's going to be on tonight, which is going to be great. He's on Monday through Friday. And then, of course, Lee is on Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard. We are UFO Maxx on your Wednesday night. Let's get it done and talk about all things UFOs. Lee, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing good. I am here. I am ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing going.
That's awesome. Really quick, we're just going to go through the top three and anybody else that's in there. So I can see that 35 of us are in here today. Kitty Cattywhack in gold position. Good to see you. Mel WD 40. Lubing our way on the woo train. I think Dave said that a few times, but we got a new member tonight. We got a new member tonight in third place, bronze medal, Marion. Welcome, Dave Nornberg. Good seeing you as always. Let's see. Oh, you were responding to everybody in there. That's awesome. Andrew and Gnomes Trucking. Oh, wait. Is this the same Andrew and Gnomes Trucking? You've been on the show before, but you're a truck driver. I think I've talked to you before. That's awesome to see you here again. This is amazing. Scott Rosin, always good seeing you, my man. Thank you so much for sending me everything that you do. For anybody that wants to reach us personally and tell us your story, go ahead. I don't know, Lee, are you okay with people reaching out to you?
Yeah, just reach out to me on Facebook. You know, if I've got the time, I'll get back to you.
He's lying. He has no time. Like, we're lucky to have him for the 2 hours a week that we do. And man, I've 3 hours. Yeah, no, it's crazy. The stuff that you do. But he keeps the city streets alive. And Bar Medicine, welcome. Paramarv, good seeing you as well. Lars Jansen.
Lars Jansen from Sweden. Jansen.
I love that. That's a, you know what, solid name, my man. Solid name. All right, Scott, always good seeing you again. Let's see, Frankie B. Heck yeah.
Of course.
Gotta love it. Richard Minish, welcome back. Kurt M, always good seeing you. Pimp Jim. Hey, I have portals. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, man. We all do, and sometimes
more than one.
Yeah. Rainwater, love, and clap to you, my friend. All right. Kurt W75, hello to you as well. Let's see who, of course, as soon as I go down with my scroller, it goes up. That's awesome. That means I need a new mouse. Dookie Pickles. I got some of those in my fridge, and they taste like crap.
He's on X, right on.
Yep. Welcome, my friend. Undead Jed. I like that, actually. Undead Dead. That rolls really well. It's up to you, my man. Welcome back. The Goblin. Are you green? Yep, you're green. Shows green there. All right. The Jaquetta. Hello, folks, to you as well. Esmeralda, gotta love that name. Delilah, there's a song written about you. Welcome back, both of you.
Oh my
And
gosh.
hey there, Delilah. I better not speak anymore on that one. All right. You know how Facebook or YouTube
Mhm.
is.
Yep.
Oh, hey, you started singing the song. Now you're in trouble. Okay. Paulie Rodman, welcome to you. All right. It's good seeing everybody here. So let's get started. We have a lot going on today. I started out with Jake Barber and Lee. You sent me a whole bunch of stuff actually, and I had one hell of a day today. Jay Truth Seeker, welcome back, my friend. Greetings there to you as well. So I had a hell of a day. Didn't get everything done that I wanted to get through. It stinks, but I'm going to start out with Jake Barber and the Coulthart interview, and then Lee, we're going to go to you where you discuss some other things that I wasn't able to catch, but thank goodness you're on top of your game. So Wes
Oh boy.
Decker, how do you?
Don't say I'm on top of my game yet.
Yeah, we all have our days, people, and every one of us work as hard as we can for as long as we can until we can't work anymore. Such is the way of life, but it happens. So today, actually yesterday, I started listening to the Ross Coulthart interview with Jake Barber. Now, Lee, I want to get your. Did you listen to the whole thing?
I'm trying to remember which one it is, man. I go through these things a lot during the day.
So Jake Barber had come out previously with Congress and everything else, but then he just recently came out with Ross Coulthart and did a full interview with him. Now, when it comes to Jake Barber, he's a whistleblower, and there's a lot of takeaway points, like key takeaways, and it gets into now. Let's rewind this a little bit. Back when you were probably 7 or 8 years old, did you ever watch Flight of the Navigator?
Of course.
Okay. So, and if anybody out there remembers Flight of the Navigator, we'll just go ahead and talk about this. There was a child that came in contact with an alien ship that was sentient. There was no other person on board except for this sentience that uses like electronics and an eye to talk to this kid. There was other alien species of different, like more like pets on board, and the ship could change shape and everything else, and it went through time, and it was great movie, well ahead of its time. And in fact, today we think that Hollywood has always been kind of telling us the truth this whole shit since the 70s. I mean, Steven Spielberg and all that. Well, Jake Barber was basically a whistleblower that goes into the Woo, has just to break this down very quickly, had contact, was in certain, had a lot of top secret, clearances and all that. It's a very interesting interview. Let's just put it that way. But then it gets really deep into the Woo, where it became not only he was spoken to mentally and physically, he had this overwhelming feeling that came from the craft. And he even talked about in certain cases where the biologics that were in it were not sentient like us. They didn't have a consciousness, but the craft did.
Interesting.
So that's just a really quick recap of the whole show for the most part, but we're going to kind of dig into this today. So Jacob Barber corroborates Michael Herrera's astounding 2009 Sumatra incident, which is quite interesting to me. He goes into detail about a gigantic octagonal craft, where he says the description exactly matches the disc with 8 8-sided construction. So like
Like
that's
a stop.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, 2 more sides than a stop sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and even his own team. So this guy went out. He started life and got into the service. He was a service member, and then it started out actually in school with him when he was much younger. His grandparents, there was an Army and an Air Force or whatever it was, or Navy, and he went through a program. Now he realizes was a program, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But when he got older, he started, hey, come join us with this, come join us with that, and he just kind of got into this where he got these top secret clearances and started doing these jobs, got his pilot's license, his helicopter pilot's license, excuse me, which is crazy. Excuse me. We'll get all into this. So he would go around and pick up not only our aircraft, or I don't know what else you would call them. I guess things
Our
that we've
downed aircraft or
downed aircraft, and he would take them out of a certain situation, and then he would bounce out, right, with this stuff. And there was actually a really interesting one that he talked about that was in the shape of an egg. That one had profound effects on him. Everybody, including his higher ups, didn't really know what they were going out there for. They just said, hey, we got these details. We need you out at this cap point. Go pick up this, downed aircraft and bring it back. Well, when they got out there, it wasn't just a downed aircraft. Nobody was expecting what they found. And it was and now you got to understand, this is like middle of the night, midnight or later. He's working with avionics in his helicopter with night vision goggles, which I have been through myself, only not as a pilot because I can't pilot any aircraft. I'm not that smart, but I have been in aircraft and I have used these night vision goggles by the military just as a joyride, so to speak, and I know their capabilities. They're awesome. We'll tell you that. When you have $18,000 sitting right here, it's like, oh, they're really nice. But he was a private military contractor, and he also confirms the things that he saw were likely American private military contractors. And not all within the military industrial complex. So some of these things that he saw were not of this earth, or NHI, so to speak.
Yes.
We've been hearing this a lot, Lee, by many people. What do you think?
Well, yeah, that seems to be the, one of the terms that they're using right now is NHI, right? They're not using the term UFO, of course, because, that means it's from another place, which NHI means now too. It just seems like as we move along through, disclosure, we learn a lot of the acronyms in terms of these objects and what they've been calling them behind the scenes, which is good, because when we go to look for this information, it's easier to do a FOIA request if you actually know what it is that you're looking for.
That's interesting that you say that, because a lot of people say if you're going to have a FOIA request, you have to be very direct
and very
precise on what you're looking for, and ask those questions, productively. So,
but as far as these craft are concerned, why would an advanced species end up crashing an object?
So that was also talked about, and I wanted to wait till later for that answer. There's actually a couple reasons that Jake Barber gave. One of them was, and he used unfortunately, we're using some type of weapon against these things. There's two things that happen. So we have psionics, and I'm sure everybody that's ever listening right now that we have psionics, and you have to come in with like these great intentions and everything else, and you can bring these ships in, and you can even direct them or ask them to land. But then we're also using these high energy weapons that force them to land. So it's kind of like a give and take. Like you have these people that it's kind of, I don't know, when I think about that, it's like, God, why are you doing this? But then we also have people that are saying, oh, they're giving us this stuff. So that was tough. We'll get to that in just a minute, though. In the notes, there's a motivation for him coming out and speaking out. And so he described himself as someone who's trained in intelligence and covert operations, who is now going overt instead of invert, because he believed the public has the right to know about illegal and criminal and improper things occurring within what he calls the program, which we're all hip to, not to get too far into the woo. And he wants to tackle this, which is great. And he actually got his chance. And Coulthart obviously asking him, and of course there's immense implications on this, but he was asked directly, do you know that there is an existence of non-human intelligence engaging with Earth for decades? And he said, yes.
Right.
And he even got asked if the government deception and lies to the public, and he said yes. And he doesn't understand why on that one. And there's a reckoning. There was a reckoning involved in this, even though none of us are going to know what that means. But there was a crucial decision for Congress and the new Trump administration on whether to take Barbers' allegations seriously. So we're about to see if that actually happens. And they even talked about, the new administration, and we don't really get into this show with politics and everything else, but, Trump was on board with this. And I think you had said something before the show. The stage, and we've been hearing this a lot in a lot of interviews, the stage for the United States current administration is already now set and put in place to where the United States president can come out and be like, oh yeah, guess what? This is what it is, without there being, Russia or China or any other country for that matter, because we'll get into that where Barber explicitly states that, well, this isn't just us. It's and when I say us, Lee and myself are in the United States. Whereas you got Dave Scott, who's up in Canada and other people. This is global. We're not the only ones that experience this. So, What do you think, my man? I mean, you think this is going to come out? You think he's going to say something about it?
Yeah, I think he actually could. It seems like some things are being put in place. And the only reason, or I should say one of the reasons that Trump would do this is to deflect from the heat he's getting over the Epstein stuff right now, right? And we usually don't talk about politics, so I don't care one way or the other. The issue, my concern is what's coming out as far as NHI, UFOs. That's the stuff I'm concerned about right now, because basically what that does is it changes our whole paradigm, right? And
yeah,
it's very possible that he is going to let things slide. Now, Trump is known for doing this kind of thing where he says shit just haphazardly sometimes without even checking himself. So that's kind of what we're hoping for here a little bit. But this might be a plan too to try to get some heat off of him. Remember when you mentioned about that new what is it? I can't remember the name. It's 47, something like that. F-47, right? Was it the F-47?
Oh, I'm thinking
the jet. And he said that it could deploy and have multiple drones that it can control at one time. I mean, he said some crazy stuff about manipulating our reality and like he said some stuff. I'm telling you, this stuff that he should keep quiet, which surprises the heck out of me that he's let stuff out of the bag. So, my fingers are crossed here on this because it would be awesome.
So the F-47. So that thing looks like I play PlayStation a lot, and back in the day when PlayStation 1 came out and I was, oh God, I don't even want to date myself, but I was there when it came out and I was actually there when, never mind. Anyways, so the F-47 is this really cool aircraft. It's made by, who do you think it's made by?
Boeing.
Good job.
Boeing.
Yeah. And so the Boeing F-47 is a air superiority aircraft. They say it's under development for Boeing, but it's out, and it's for the USAF. For anybody that knows, it's United States Air Force, and it's the next generation air dominance, which is NGAD, I guess they call it. It's designed to be the successor of the F-22, even though they have the F-35, which I have flying all over the place. Thank goodness, because the F-22 is loud and obnoxious as all get out. But yeah, so it's interesting that such a small aircraft can have these implications. I mean, that would be really interesting to see exactly what happens there. Going back to Barber's background. So if you listen to it, this guy gets into a lot of, for lack of a better word, I would say spiritual aspects. When you look at Flight of the Navigator, that is a sentient craft that is speaking verbally with, the kid.
Right.
We hear a lot of things nowadays where everything is conscious. In fact, you have many, many podcasts going to consciousness sort of things, where even Barber talked about some of the craft were visible, real craft, and the other ones were not. You could see them, but they were conscious driven, where craft have been taken down and the beings inside or the biologics inside were not conscious or sentient, where the craft was. And holy mackerel, the implications of this are crazy. So just to give everybody a backstory of Barber's military service, he joined the U.S. Air Force at 17 in September of 1994 through a new 10-year combat control career field program, which is actually where he was tested. And he goes into a lot of these things where you, let's say, how put off with the people that can remote view. There are people that are sentient or not sentient, but there are people that are sensitive in this world, that including thousands of years ago, when we hear all these ancient stories of people, shamans, and where they're like, oh, we have this contact or we have this ability to understand things more than just our physical being. That's primarily where a lot of this is coming from when it comes to consciousness and what they're talking about. In fact, what Grant Cameron talks about, we've heard this many, many times before. A lot of things went from nuts and bolts to consciousness. When you have craft, even back in the days of Bob Lazar, where you have to have the ability to come at the craft with good intentions, I would say. Like they want to talk about love and endearing and free spirited and good intentions. They add all these things to it. You got to come at it not with reservation. and pure and open-hearted. And then the craft will all of a sudden let you in and all that jazz, which is great. And he talked about extensive club training with this kind of thing. And it is wild, my man. Wild. So let me ask you a question.
Yep.
When's the last time you saw I wouldn't say alien craft, but I mean, when's the last time you saw something that was just not normal in the skies?
Well, that would have been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw your post.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Well, we talked about it here, about that red object that went over Mount Adams. So,
yeah.
I mean, just to think that like a soul could be put into another vessel, like something like that, it boggles the mind. It really does. I don't know. I don't even know how to comprehend that. You know, okay. So wait a minute.
Here we go. I love it.
So think about like some of these objects that are haunted.
Like houses?
Well, like houses, like dolls, like.
Oh, don't talk about dolls. I can't do it. Oh, some people don't like clowns. I can't stand dolls. Them things are looking at me.
So obviously there's things going on that we have no idea. Obviously, right. I mean, this is tech that is 1,000 years ahead of where we are, or could be close to that with using AI. I have no idea, but that brings together with the thought too with AI. Some people say that it can become sentient, and I don't know how a soul merges with a craft or AI to become sentient. I have no idea.
So let me put it to you this way. We're going to get quite a bit off topic. Where does your consciousness stem from? Where do you think consciousness
It's not in here. My consciousness is not in here. It's out there, and it's got an antenna. Well, that's what my understanding is that the antenna then hooks up to my pineal gland.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that, because there's so many hieroglyphs or hieroglyphs, or however you say it, where they have depicted the pineal gland as like a little, anyways,
the walnut.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many people nowadays, and especially NDEs, near-death experiencers, they do not think consciousness is local. Oh, Scott, I love you. Right there. Consciousness is non-local. So the deal is a lot of people believe, and I'm not one of those people that have had those experiences, but it makes sense to me, where consciousness is non-local, just like Scott says, and that our brains are the antenna. And so you have all these NDEs that, they die for however long, and then they experience this next life. And I've had an experience similar to that in a different way. And I don't want to go into that now, but everything that I went through in that experience suggests that it is true. And so what is the difference between when, Barber talks about these ships being sentient and being made out of some sort of flesh, that some of the ships that we see are not nuts and bolts. They're
biologic.
They're biologic. And they can only be flown with consciousness. So you have to kind of integrate yourself into them. This is something that resonates with most people, because we are conscious. We know that. We don't know where our consciousness comes from. There's a lot of people back when I was in high school or even grade school, they're like, oh yeah, your all your brain chemicals do this, that, and the other. I'm like, I understand a 15-year-old because I'm having to deal with one right now. And them hormones are killer.
Right.
He had to go to his mom's house tonight.
Yeah.
Especially before I got home, because he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to mom's house because I just pissed off dad tonight, and I'm not mad. I'm just, you know how it is. But I'm like, dude, it's consciousness going through an avatar, and the avatar is going through some changes, and those changes are creating a disruption between what I'm saying and it's kind of like you have one of those 1990s RC cars, and when they get away from you a little too far, they just take a mind of their own and they keep going.
That's right. That's for sure.
Heck yeah.
I mean, so all of that is brought through a filter, right?
Correct.
So our brain is the filter, and our experiences, are basically the rule book for that that consciousness. I would think. And so then
kind of like a perceived window, like a filter almost. Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, like a screen door, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. So, who knows? Our experiences are going to make us act a certain way in a certain situation.
Right.
But as far as being on, interfacing with a craft, and talking it down and stuff like that, I suppose it's possible. I mean, I've never experienced that, but I've experienced them reacting to me and doing what I asked them to do in the sky, which is, crazy enough.
And Barber talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about it and said, "Hey, you're right. I forgot about that. Thank you." He is like that. We can ask them to show up, and we can ask them to land. Like, you can interact with them. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Are you serious right now? It's wild to me. It means, and I think, I don't know, man. I used to be that guy that kind of would read those books and listen to those podcasts where like, oh, we're in the Great Awakening and we're in the generation where we're waking up, the golden generation. It's like, okay, cool. And things are not what they seem. And life is not what it seems. It's not.
Much more bizarre than we can even imagine sitting here talking to you all.
So when Matthew Brown came out and says, you're living in a matrix, and life is, we're living in a dream or whatever, and there's a scientific tech, blah 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 blah. Not to discredit the dude, but it's like anybody that is, I'm 45, dude, and I've thought about this many times. It's like, yeah, I agree with that. There's probably something more to our life than what we imagine it is. So I'm right there with you, my man. POTUS finds me. Okay, hold on a second. Let's read this real quick. We're gonna get away from Barber. POTUS finds me and Grant on the weekends chatting about Bigfoot to DNA hair is massless light 1905. The AI spies are catching up to us, SOR or USSOR. A saddle of love, Grant. Hell yeah. All sword in the eyes. So here's the deal. I could go on about Bigfoot forever. So I'm not going to start talking about that, especially to the DNA and the fact that their hair can go transparent. We'll leave it there.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, we know that craft can go transparent too, but I mean, we're just going way off the rails.
Well, we have so many people and so many whistleblowers now that are talking about, whether it be Matthew Brown or Barber, and they're all talking to Congress, whether they're listening or not, it doesn't matter. There's going to be a reckoning one day where it's just going to come out. And it's exciting to talk about these things on the air. When you get these testimonies, and I mean, like, literally, I can say, in essence, Jake Barber claims to be a former covert operative who, after years of a seeming legitimate career, went off and became directly involved in the recovery of alien craft, right? He states that he's actively this one sucks. So he thinks that the public is being deceived by Congress and the reality of aliens and technology, and then you get to the point where a few weeks ago when Knapp and Corbell talked about, Brown, they're saying the same stuff, guys. We've been listening to this for how many years?
Man, it's been since like 1957.
Yeah.
It's been, I mean, I remember like seeing black and white videos of generals coming out and saying stuff about there being, UFOs and objects in the sky and this and that and the other thing. And it's still the same game today.
Well, look back in the 50s.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But the thing is it was different back then. Today, you have lie upon lie upon lie upon lie. And then you have the government and the DOD and Lockheed and whoever, you know what I mean? You have all these people trying to hide the truth. But back in the 50s, when TV just first came around and they would talk about the shit and they'd be like, well, we found this and that and the other, and they would talk about it. No more. You don't see that anymore. Now we have live streams of Congress interviewing Lou Elizondo. And by the way, he has a bitchin' car, and I love his car. Anyways, he's a car guy, so he appeals to me. But you have Lou Elizondo, Commander David Faber, David Grush. You have all these people that are always talking, and people from NASA and whoever, and they're all talking about it, right? You want disclosure, people? You already got it. Capital D. Capital D. If we're talking about it, and however you find it, whether it be on YouTube, I don't think C-SPAN does it. I don't even know if they're alive anymore. I don't watch normal TV, and I haven't for years. And that we're talking about it. That should tell you right now that this stuff is real.
Yeah, I mean, that should be disclosure, but there's so many people. I mean, I could tell you about people in my own family that don't believe in it.
Right.
Even after I'm like, look at this video, I don't want to see your stupid video. Look at these pictures I've got. I don't care. That's not nothing. I mean, that's the kind of people, they just shun it. They don't want to. And that's just the reality of it, is that there's people that just aren't going to want to know and don't care to know. It doesn't change their reality in any way, although it very well could if we had a bunch of that tech, right?
Right.
It could change our reality for the better, wouldn't be running on fossil fuels possibly and everything that we're doing. So,
that's just, and in my mind, and this is just my own statement here, doesn't reflect on Spaced Out Radio or anybody else within it. This is my own opinion. Everything that we do is based on money, currency, and power. So, and money and currency are the same thing, kind of. Currency can be divided into a few groups, but either way, that's what's running everything. And when it comes to certain whistleblowers, they're saying that we're not even the ones running this shit. Sorry for my language. We are the ones experiencing it, and we are the sheeple. But neither here nor there. I am gonna exclude myself from sheeple, and I'm gonna be like, okay, money is money. It is what it is. Does money equal power? Heck no. Knowledge? Yes, it does equal power. Do I need to know everything? Absolutely not. Do I want to go to Mars? No, I'm good. But would I like to meet another gray alien when I'm not 5 years old and I'm a grown adult? Will it scare the hell out of me right off the bat? Absolutely. For about 10 seconds. And then I'll control myself and be like, okay, dude, let's sit down, have a brewski. What do you got? You know what I mean? So you have something, Lee, that I wasn't able to watch, and you sent to me this yesterday, actually.
I think we touched on it already, didn't we?
Maybe a little bit. There's a couple things, actually. Well, I'm not going to look it up. It doesn't matter. So there was a portion of the show that I wanted to do, and we're running out of time. We only have 20 minutes, actually a little bit less than that. It was questions and answers with Grant and Lee. And I want everybody in the chat room right now, all 136 of you that are watching, I want every single one of you in caps to put in any question you got, whether I can answer it or Lee can answer it or not. If it's funny, not funny, serious, has to do with anything that you got when it comes to this topic, let's hear it, because we have a lot to say. We have our own opinions, and I know you have your own opinions. Also, I want you guys to join us here in the next hour after we're done here in about 19 minutes. I want you guys to join Dave Scott on his show, which is Monday through Friday, religiously. It's very rare that he is off air, and he always has awesome things. American culture, my favorite color, purple. Anyways, awesome people to interview. I want you to join Lee Strauss on Element 115 on Friday.
Yep.
And also our weekend show, which I used to be on myself, and it's awesome, with Rob G. Go ahead and join us on all of those. We also have our shop. If you want to go to spacedoutradio.com/shop, we do not have ugly swag. So let me slow this down, and I'll go ahead and post this up. What is primary consciousness or material realm?
Primary would be consciousness.
Yes. And
our consciousness creates the reality that we're in.
I agree. So it's just like a video game, folks. When you look at it, and science has actually proven this, there, especially at the macro level or even the micro level, if you don't watch something, it will do one thing, and once you observe it, it does another. So in a video game, if you're walking through a video, if you're third person, first person, whatever, and you'll see that everything stops and then loads up. Well, that's
so things render as you're moving through
exactly
the reality, right? So that's very possible in what goes on here. We're just not able to see what they consider the back rooms or whatever they want to call it.
Yep.
Right. There is that one video I sent you today about the alien caught on the Ring camera.
I did not watch that. I'm sorry. I was having.
No, I know. It's all good, brother. It's all good, man. Do you want to bring that up real quick?
I can. Give me one moment, and I will get that done. So go ahead and try to answer. What is it? Read that for us, would you?
Sightings where pointed observer his viewpoint seeing a long tunnel. It seems to go through it momentarily. Seconds later, assumes its normal appearance again. Interesting. So, like a wormhole, is that what we're getting at here? I have not seen a wormhole or anything like that, where I've seen objects in the night sky move along and then blink out and not come back. But I can't say that I've ever seen anything blink out and then later come back in its normal appearance. No, I can't say that I've seen anything like that. I've not seen with my own eyes. I have not seen what I would consider structured craft. I have only seen craft that after I look at the video that I took or the pictures that I took, then I'll see an object in the sky that wasn't there when I took the pictures. And on one occasion, I caught a structured craft. The rest of the time, it's been just lights doing crazy things at night. So one daylight sighting, and I didn't even see it until I went back to review my my stuff.
Gotcha. Huh. All right, so here is the one you were talking about, and yes. I cannot play this, unfortunately, people, because this is one of those woman captured alien on Ring camera. What is it really? And so if I start playing, I'm sure you'll probably you might not hear it. I will hear it. So let me go ahead and mute it. And then they focus in on this alien, and of course, people start talking about it. So let's go ahead and fast forward. And there it is. You see it move?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Let's go back. Back further. Okay,
that was a fake one from the movie. Yeah.
What?
So they say it's about 4 foot tall. This thing, they went and measured out there to see how tall it was, and they had an expert on who was talking about, well, with focal length, and you've got, data loading, and everything's being mashed through the hardware and the software, you can get some stuff that is highly pixelated. Yes, we realize that.
Well, it's
especially as it's moving at night, right? But the shape that you see there is most likely the shape of the being or creature, or even a kid with a costume, possibly. So right?
I got to say something. Like the shape of the head. Am I right? Right or wrong? I mean, that was something crazy. Like that was huge. It almost looked like Alien versus Predator kind of
aliens stuff. Yeah, exactly, that same kind of yeah, it's pretty wild. It could be a kid in a costume, sure. Who knows, maybe they want their 5 minutes of fame or whatever it is, but it's cool nevertheless. And they were talking about how odd it is for people to capture this sort of thing. They capture odd things on Ring cameras, but there have been several in the past, these creatures, and how odd it is to capture something in your yard like this.
So and Lee, I'll send you this. I have a picture of a bobcat, or not a bobcat, I'm sorry, mountain lion, 150-pound mountain lion that walked across my front deck right here. And I have perfect images of that. And it was 15 feet away from my camera. And so when I see something that's that pixelated, and my camera is 4 years old, that my Ring camera, I got to charge it every now and then. And sometimes I choose not to because I just don't want to talk to people. But, and so I see these pixelated versions and I'm like, really?
Well, so you got the bright light on the deck, right, shining down, and then you've got darkness back behind that, right? So that light's going to shine on that and that entity.
Gotcha.
You're going to, with the movement, you're going to get a lot of pixelation. What happens is the camera, because of the darkness in the background, it's going to slow its rate down from 30 frames a second to maybe 26 or even less frames a second to be able to capture what it's seeing in the dark. I mean, usually those cameras have that kind of software built into them, so that they're able to see better at night. Not only that, a lot of those cameras have an infrared light. Ring cameras have an infrared light as well. So the shape that it is
that's why you're
the shape that it was.
The camera guy, man. You way over my head. But you got all the cool stuff. Yeah, I understand though a little bit. So Kim Jellin, what do you guys think of the conscious universe theory? Lee?
Yeah, I think the universe is conscious, and we stem from it. A lot of people think that we can interact with it in a way. I mean, I'm a Catholic. Okay, I'm going to say that right now. I believe in God, but there's a lot of people that think that, but with prayer and things, that you can actually change things.
And power prayer.
Yeah, exactly. So
I've heard that.
there's that. And then there's also where you have people that walk across coals and don't burn their feet. A lot of things have to do with the intention in the mind, right? And what the mind believes. So
I can see that too. I can see that. Well, here's the deal. I think if consciousness, let's just put this out there. Let's say we're all an avatar. All of us are consciousness and let me put it like this. In your case, you're Catholic. So let's say our supreme being, God, whatever you want to call Yahweh. I don't give a shit what you call it. The supreme being is consciousness as a whole. And if you look at consciousness as one of those cool little dangly things your grandma had in the mirror or in the house, and it was basically a crystal that had 150 different facets, right? Each one of those facets are us, just individually, right? That's where I see that going. So what do you guys think of conscious universe theory, which we actually just talked about that? So and then interesting, we just described that as well. Do you think abductees are chosen, or is it happenstance? Oh goodness, I think I'm confused on this subject because whether it's a bloodline, I'm type O negative, and which is very rare, not as rare as AB negative, but there's what's it, HR or RH negative. There it is. Anyways, I'm not that special of a person. I'm just a dude. I'm one of the facets of the crystal. And I had an experience. Lee, you had one hell of an experience. And that is a good question because I don't know if we can answer that.
Well, I think in some ways, some people are meant to be, tested throughout their lives, and then their kids tested and so on and so forth to see, for whatever reason, what we're exposed to during our lives, chemicals and this and that.
Do you think chromosomes might have something to do with, like, genetics, maybe?
Well, I think for them, it's easier to test through lineage and in family lines for whatever. They're scientists too, right?
Right.
So, just like if we're out there, we'd want to test the adult and then test the child and then maybe just keep going through that lineage as we test. And I'm talking about animals, but and then I think some people it's happenstance. You were driving on the wrong desert road at the wrong time of night,
and there you go,
and there you are.
All right. Yeah. So Philadelphia Experiment, we've all seen the movie, and well, most of us have. That would be our DoD experimentation and us back engineering things, and then we get a movie out of it from Hollywood. I'm not going to extrapolate on that. I have a lot to say on it, but at that point, it's my own opinion and where I come from it. So, Scott, great question. And maybe one of these shows we might just tackle that one because we don't have enough time right now to do that one. Then we're going to go back to, let's see, Delilah. What do you think the new things coming towards us is? So this one, I think what she's talking about, we had a moo-moo, and now we have another object that's coming close to us, but not anywhere near
the 3i is what it's called.
Yes, 3i Atlas. And yeah, good one. What do I think it is? I don't know yet. We have people like Avi Loeb, which I'll tell you what, Delilah. I'm going to tell you where to find Avi's phone number. Go to Harvard and you can look up, staff, and the number you find for Avi Loeb is his cell phone number, and ask him. And Hopefully you don't do it during dinner time, but he will still talk to you. Just be respectful of his time, everybody. It's just one of those things. Do I know what's coming? No. Is it big? Kind of. It's not going to hit the earth, so I'm not concerned about it. Is it out of, is it interstellar space that's coming through our solar galaxy? Yes. Other than that, that's all we know.
I have thought.
Oh, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
So this thing is going to come by 2 of our inner planets. Now, if you were going to explore another solar system and you wanted to send a probe in, right? And let's say it had 3 or 4 inner planets that are in the Goldilocks zone, in the habitable zone. Wouldn't you want to send your probe in so that it has the most likelihood of coming by those possibly habitable planets? Yes.
Yep.
So
and here's the deal.
You got Mercury and you've got Mars. And it's going right by
both.
Right by those. Yeah.
And us.
And direct line of sight. We'll be actually on the other side of the sun when it comes through.
And here's the thing, like, this has been spoken upon or talked about, even with Avi Loeb, or, these are things that you have to understand. Us as a civilization, what have we already done? We have sent probes out, went past different, planets, and those probes are gone. Like, they're going to keep going for billions of years unless they hit something. They're going to go forever until someone finds it and like, what the hell is this? Like, where did this come from? It's dead, obviously, by that point. But like, there's somebody else out there. So now we're the aliens. So yes.
100%. 100%.
We have to answer this next question. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Lee, I'm sorry. Have you ever noticed that there's a bizarre resemblance between Bigfoot and Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Hollywood, folks. Welcome to Hollywood. We are all being, what is it called when you desensitized to everything that's been going on. So, and then we got another question real quick. Do you think the elongated skulled mummies are the same relative to Sasquatch? No, I really don't believe that at all. I've met Sasquatch myself back when I was very young, about 10 years of age, 11-ish. I want to say 11, but I think it was more like 10. And not a chance. Dude was yoked too. I wish I could be that big, but I'm not. So here we go. This is more of a statement. So yes, guys, it happened to me. My dad, 91, first appeared bright orange, then tunnel effect, then orange again, then hit in a cloud and vanished slowly. Daylight. Welcome to everybody else, Jose Sanchez. And that's all we're getting from everybody else, including our government. Now I got to scroll down real quickly.
You've got it real quickly.
Yeah, because we got to get out of here. So Dave, come on. I'm so excited. By the way, super chats are always open and a great way to support everything we do with Spaced Out Radio. Please, when you go on Dave's channel, I'm not asking for money. I just want you to do me a simple favor. Like the video. That is the biggest thing. If you
subscribe.
Yes. And if you can subscribe, if you're not already subscribed, please do that as well, because that's what keeps us here. Now, I'm only here because this is my favorite topic, and I really like that guy. He's awesome, and he does cool stuff with a lot of cool electronics. So I'm only here because of him. But I'm lying. But but realistically,
he's here because of you. You all.
Yes, I'm here. Well, you guys too, because ultimately we're all here together. And we got to go.
Yep.
So go enjoy Dave, and Have fun. We'll see you shortly.